The Ordovician period occurred between 488.3 to 443.7 million years ago. It lasted for about 45 million years. It started after the Cambrian period, but before the Silurian period, and was the second period of the Paleozoic era. During this period of time, there was lots of change on Earth. One supercontinent broke up, and then another was formed. Plants became abundant, and the first vertebrate animals appeared on Earth. Despite all of this progress throughout the Paleozoic era, the Ordovician extinction caused 26% of all marine families, 90% of trilobite species, and 85% of all species to become extinct. All the creatures and plants that lived during this period of time were very different from animals and plants that live on Earth today. Most of all life was in the ocean. The air was warm and wet. One of the creatures that lived during this time were the nautiloids, which were tentacled mollusks. They were kind of like the squids we have today. Conodonts were eel-like creatures with tiny teeth and large eyes. Coral-like structures were created by bryozoans. There were also sea star-like creatures called crinoids. They caught their food by waving their feathery arms in the water. Trilobites were also very abundant. Even the fish during this period were very different. They were very small, had bony shields that covered their body, and jawless mouths. These creatures got their food by sucking and filtering food from below them.
At the end of the Ordovician era, the world entered a colossal ice age. Climatic fluctuations were extreme as glaciation continued and became more extensive. Cold climates with floating marine ice developed as maximum glaciation was reached. This global cooling brought upon gargantuan ice sheets that caused the global sea level to drop roughly 85 meters. All of the species that adapted to warm weather were hit hard by this mass cooling because they had nowhere to migrate to. After about 1 million years of an ice age, global conditions abruptly changed back to the way they were before. This was detrimental to the species that had survived the ice age, making them yet again adapt to warmer temperatures.
Green algae adapted to the environment during the extinction very well. They had thick cell walls, so they did not dry out while living in open air on land. The cell walls also kept salty water from mixing in with fresh water. They also allowed carbon dioxide to be absorbed by the plant so it could photosynthesize. UV rays and wind didn't damage these plants either because of their protective cell walls. Endemic brachiopods were affected during this extinction because they only lived in certain areas. However, there were still brachiopods that survived. This is because they lived closer to the edges of the supercontinent Laurentia, so they were more globally distributed.
We know that the Ordovician extinction occurred because of the different strata and fossils that date back to that era. The dramatic change in fossil types seen between eras corroborates the occurrence of the extinction. Ordovician rocks are typified by a considerable thickness of lime and other carbonates that accumulated in shallow subtidal and intertidal environments. Quartzites are also present. Rocks formed from sediments deposited on the margins of Ordovician shelves are commonly dark, organic-rich mudstones, which bear the remains of graptolites and may have thin seams of iron sulfide. These rocks trace back to the late Ordovician, and thus we can agree with the theory that says water levels rose once again after the initial ice age.
Some scientists believe that we are currently in our sixth mass extinction of plants and animals. The background extinction rate is between 1 to 5 species every year. Nowadays, we are losing between 1,000 to 10,000 times this rate per year. This could leave us with as many as 30 to 50% of all species going extinct by 2050. Some past extinctions were caused by natural disasters, but this current extinction is being caused by us, humans. About 99% of currently threatened species are at risk because of our activities. Not only are animals affected by this possible extinction, but so are many plants. It is estimated by the IUCN that 68% of the 300,000 evaluated species of plants may become extinct. Without plants and the oxygen they provide, we will not be able to survive.